All right, let's get into it, baby.
Let's go.
All right, let's just start off real quick out of the gate. Patriots,
Yeah.
Patriot way. I've had a few Patriots on this week at Radio Row.
Okay.
In your era, how would you define the Patriot way?
Oh man, great question. I think I kind of came in that second dynasty era, right? So we lost like a lot of that veteran leadership, like Vrabel, McGinnis, Brewski, but we still had Tom, we still had Slate, we still had a bunch of key pieces that experienced that, um, and they brought that level of accountability, which I think was a calling card in New England. Um, and then also just a meritocracy. You got what you earned up there, and that's exactly what guys like me, guys like Julian Edelman, that's what we needed, because we weren't coming from big football factories that just spit out fucking, big time football guys, but we were scrappy. We knew how to work. We knew football.
Yeah.
And so, having those, accountability and meritocracy, guys can fucking work up from like relatively, rocky beginnings.
Yeah.
So
What was your college journey?
my college journey, like to get to college, or
Yeah. Tell me your recruiting process and how
Okay.
all that shit went.
yeah. So
It's interesting.
sophomore year of high school, I was a bigger kid, southeastern Pennsylvania, like pretty good football. Started getting some letters, and I got like fully fucking deep in. My first visit was Michigan. Went to the big house on junior day, and I was like, oh my god, this is the best thing in the world. The biggest stadium in the country.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a Michigan man through and through, right?
Yeah.
But I'm also like a 6'2" and a half, slow white kid from VA that was just big enough to like, make tackles all the time. So I went to, I sprinkled myself around, went to Virginia, went to like some other schools, and then as time went on, less and less people started like showing interest. I never got any Division I offers, and so I said, you know what? If I can't play big time football in college, I'm gonna get the best education I can. So I focused Ivy League, chose between Brown and Princeton, took visits to both, and I just felt like I connected with the guys at Brown a little bit more, and that was my journey.
You know Joe Linta?
No. Oh, wait.
Linta.
He's a little younger than me, but I know the name. Yeah, I don't know him super
No,
personally.
his dad's. My brother just signed with his agency,
Okay.
and the kids, TJ and Nick Linta. I know they played Ivy. I forget what
Yeah.
the fuck it was.
Yeah, the Linton name I definitely know.
Yeah.
They were younger than me.
Okay,
But
yeah. Yeah, small world.
yeah.
Okay, so Ivy, and like one of my best friends, so coming out, I knew I would go to a camp, I'd torch everybody,
Yeah.
they'd weigh me, see I'm a white guy, I'd be
Yeah.
like, yeah, I can't do it. And I was like, fuck. And I'm sending out emails like, my mom is a champ. She has 3 sons, all 3 played Division I fucking
Yeah.
football at the same school.
For her.
She's very proud of it. She doesn't gloat it.
Yeah.
You want to talk about it, she'll
Yeah.
let you know, right?
Okay.
And it was a hard journey.
Yeah.
I got my walk-on spot to Fresno State. But one of my best friends to this day, his version of my Fresno State was Stanford.
Okay.
Now, in the process of this, he's a smart-ass guy.
Yeah.
Went out, did the whole Ivy League trail, the whole thing, bro.
Uh-huh.
And they really warned him at these camps. I think he went to Princeton. I know he went to Yale and Harvard. He was going to go to Yale, but then Stanford came in and gave him a walk-on spot.
Yeah.
And his parents went there and shit, so,
Okay. Yeah.
Palo Alto's a lot closer to
Yeah.
Fresno than fucking
Absolutely.
over there. Anyways, they really emphasized, I remember him telling me about how, like, they warned you, not all people go to these games,
Yeah.
and you still have to go to school
Uh-huh.
at a fucking Ivy League,
Yeah.
basically. So it ain't going to be wake up Saturday morning,
Yeah.
seeing Oklahoma Sooners, boobies coming out and all this shit. Like there's a different type of balance here. How hard was that balance between ball and school in the Ivy League?
I mean, it definitely taught me a lot, man. Like, it was sobering because I got through high school with relative ease, I'd say. Didn't have to try all that much. Always kind of like did what I needed to do to get A's and shit. Ended up
Right.
like, doing really well in high school. But then when I got to Brown, I'd say one semester I was like, you know what, I got this. Like I might be that guy, right? But I'd say after that, dude, I was just like grasping for air. You know, like I just had I had no business being there, to be totally honest. But so managing the time, it was hard, but I really dialed it in. I'd say like sophomore year.
Okay.
I kind of got really good at not necessarily like learning the material, but learning how to get work done.
Right. Efficiency.
Yes. And like, what's the best systems for me to like be able to produce on test day or produce on Saturday mornings for football? Like I just got very dialed in a systematic approach to life. That way I could like best optimize what I needed to do, whether it was in football or whether it was academically.
I've been on a big book kick lately.
Okay.
And I didn't read sixth grade, I read Hunger Games, and then I had like a 12-year gap.
Okay.
And then when I finished playing ball and, my Olympic journey ended, I was in this fucking rut, and I just started going book after book after book.
Yeah.
And, my mom was like, hey, there's this guy named Stephen Covey. He wrote The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
Okay.
And it was the first book back since Hunger Games.
Yeah.
So I'm reading it. I'm like, you know what? I'm so used to, as a football player, I'm taking notes religiously.
Yeah.
We had coaches that were saying writing crystallizes your thinking, and
Yep.
I bought into that shit early and
Yeah.
fast. And they're like, they would talk about going to a Colts practice and sitting in the meeting room and Peyton Manning's going over inside zone,
Yeah.
and he's diligently writing notes about like
Yeah.
an A-gap handoff.
Love it.
You're like, this is fucking Peyton Manning,
Yeah.
year 10.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
And he stood up and just said, like, this is why I do my process. Stuck with me. So going back to the book, I said, you know what? I'm not going to just open up this fucking book. I don't have the attention span to do so.
Yeah.
And I need to be able to have a cheat sheet of what the fuck did I get out of this?
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to lie. I don't know if I got hit in the head too many times in my life, but my memory is not like,
Yeah.
I'm not crystal clear.
Oh.
There's guys, my grandpa will tell me stories about his 4th grade literature class. And then I'm terrible. I'll meet somebody for the 4th time, and I'll be like, fuck, bro, I forgot those other 3. Like, it'll come back to me, but I can't just boom, 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 boom. Like, I don't fucking know, man. So I started writing down what has to fit on one piece of paper, and all the important shit,
Okay.
right?
As you're reading?
As I'm reading.
Okay.
And then I'll do a recap and be like, all right, this is fucking good.
Yeah.
Anyways, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, man. There was just the biggest thing that I learned out of that book, takeaway-wise, was if there's something you can do and it's going to take you less than 5 minutes, just do it right now.
Yeah.
Just fucking do it right now. And I'm at work in my onion job, man. I get to work, I'll write down everything I know I need to do.
Yeah.
Stare at it and be like, let's cross something off right now.
Yeah.
It might be taking a shit.
Uh-huh.
All right, we took our morning shit. Like, we're good to go.
Yeah.
But finding a way to be efficient at an early age is key. And I didn't play in an Ivy League, although Fresno State is considered the Harvard of the West.
Bet. Yeah.
Depends who you ask.
And Stanford's Yale. Yeah.
Fuck those guys. But finding your flow, because especially now with these things.
Yeah.
But you could be mindlessly.
God.
I hope you're looking at Bring the Juice if you are.
Yeah.
But like, you gotta find your process in your system. And I think in school and ball, it's like, okay, I know I got class at this time. I know I got ball at this time. You don't have time.
Yeah.
You have no time for anything. You might have a Saturday night during spring ball where you could go do some shit with the boys.
Yeah.
You don't have fucking time. Once you're done with ball, this. We're so used to this structure.
Absolutely, man.
And
That's
some guys, I got buddies
Yeah.
who.
Yeah.
I got some guys who.
Yeah.
So when I was done, I was like, how can I take that same approach of being so dedicated to the consistent attention to detail of kicking ass at anything I'm doing and now be a good husband, father, businessman, hat designer, podcast host, golfer, you fucking name it.
Yeah.
There's no time for bullshit. You blink and the day's over, man. Years go by. I got a 3-month-old son. I like looking at pictures from when he was born, and now I'm like, it's going by so fast, man.
Wild, dude. Only gets
And
faster.
So let's go into I'm bouncing around here, but when ball was over,
Yeah.
how hard was that for you to adjust? And what do you think is the biggest trait you took from your experience of playing ball to what you do now?
Man, great question. I love how you like circulated that. Yeah, but it was, I mean, all good like shit that people need to fucking talk
I
about.
couldn't agree more.
You know, the lack of regulation in your daily schedule, I think, is one of the hardest things for athletes to like, come around to, because like you said, I mean, every day we'd walk into a facility and essentially just look at exactly where we needed to be at what time.
That's it.
And it's like so easy to live your life that way. You get so wrapped up in like living week by week and day by day. You could start to compartmentalize fucking everything in your life, and then all of a sudden that's all gone.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I still feel like I struggle at times. I've been out 5 years, just like kind of regaining the traction in those like self-regulation patterns, like trying to figure out, all right, what is my goal? How do I get there? And what are the daily steps I need to take to get there? So after I retired right into like the April of 2020, so right into COVID. And that shut down a fucking world, right? So I big time like poured into my kids. I had 3 kids at the time. My wife was pregnant with our 4th. And I was just like, dad, And that, I knew what I needed to do. It was kind of like its own like little training camp schedule, if you will, because it was like, all right, they're going to wake up at this time. They're going to need like diaper changes. They're going to need to eat. They're going to need to do all that shit. Yeah. And so I just started falling into that pattern. Then I took some courses through the NFLPA, got some like entrepreneurial street cred, and then bought my own business, opened up a second one, and now I'm working for the PA. So like just trying to stay busy, trying to always kind of like redefine myself, find a new niche that I can like get into, dabbling in real estate now, and just trying to like, find my way. Because at times like I'll wake up and I'm like, fuck, where do I go today? I wish I could just look at my TV screen and be like, oh, I got meetings this time, but it's not that easy anymore. But I think we can do, as athletes, we know the recipe for like what we
know the recipe. The
know.
formula's there.
Yeah, and it's just sometimes it's hard to get yourself back in that for whatever reason. There's a lot of fucking outside influence when you're done playing the game, and you just kind of got to be true to yourself and authentic with yourself, and know what you need to get done. And we have the right tools. We know how to do it, so we just got to remember that.
It's and again, I'll say it again. Like the consistent attention to detail is everything in order to have any execution.
Yes. Yep.
And I say consistent because every once in a while, look at New Year's resolutions. Mm-hmm. There's times in the year, there's ebbs and flows in life where somebody lights a fire under your ass. You go out, you buy a new notebook, you go get a new pair of shoes. Oh, I'm gonna go get a brand new fit. I'm gonna get a gym workout in, like whatever it is, and you get burnt out because you go too fast. Yeah. Everybody wants to get fired up on New Year's Eve to better themselves. Yeah. What about June 22nd? Yeah. Right?
Right.
And if you could say to yourself, I need to go get this work in today. As a football player, you might not have workouts on Saturday. You might be like, you know what, man? I got to go get a rollout in. I got to get a light lift in. I got to get a little sweat. I should probably cold tub. I don't want to. Maybe I'm fucking hungover. Maybe I'm still a little fucked up. I don't know. Maybe I got homework. Maybe I'm, my mom's in town. Some shit. Yeah. You have to get it in. And being able to say, waking up, it's a little cold outside. Yeah. Waking up, not really feeling it. Like, flipping that switch and saying, no, I don't, and then not saying I got to, saying I get to today. Yeah. It's just like, not everybody has it, but at the same time, you do have it. You just got to pull that, you got to pull that dog out and erase the inner bitch in you.
Absolutely.
All it is,
absolutely.
Man.
It's funny you brought up like the cold. I mean, a lot of guys, in the off season, they go to fucking California or Texas or Florida, Arizona to train. I grew up at like the greater Philadelphia area. I used to always just go home, suffer through the winter, fucking outside training in snow and stuff because I felt like it gave me that edge. Because I was big time on diligent and consistent workouts, doing what I needed to do to like callous my body. That was always my mindset was like, I don't want to be not that I didn't want to be, but I didn't need to be like the most explosive athlete, the fastest fucking guy on the field, but I did need to be like as durable as possible. So I just wanted to like calcify my traps, get them fucking real big, get my legs nice and strong, be able to run through contact, all that shit. And so I used to just suffer, like honestly, put myself through like suffering workouts in the off season just so I could come back like that much mentally tougher than everybody, and know that I was at the Jersey Shore training when it was literally fucking snowing next to the water, and like it's, you know, that Rocky in Siberia.
I was gonna say, man.
Yeah. I mean, growing up in Philly, like that was my movie.
Growing up in Fresno, that was my movie, man. You kidding me?
Yeah. I mean, I bought a leather jacket with the fucking white Sherpa inside, and wear a fucking hat every once in a while just to be like Rocky. I wear a fedora, and because my wife bought it and told me I look like Rocky, so I fucking love that shit.
It's a compliment.
It's the best compliment.
What do you think? What's the grittiest, just the most fucked up workout you've done to say, I'm gonna get that edge? Like, how far have you gone? How far have you pushed?
So I was real good at the 225 bench test, right? Okay. Most I ever got was 49.
Okay.
When I was training, like all coming up through high school and stuff, I trained with this professional boxer from out of Boston that settled in the greater Philly area. We ended up meeting when I was a sophomore, and for whatever reason, he thought it's a good idea to get this dude very good at endurance benching. So we used to do.
It's so specific.
We'd pile all the 10s on each side of the bar and just lay down on the bench. We're not allowed to lift your back off the bench, and just rep it out, rack it. They'd strip a 10, rep it out, rack it, strip a 10 all the way down, and then all the way back up. So like a reverse pyramid type style. And I mean, I remember like for days not being able to straighten out my arms.
Yeah.
But, you know, throwing up, doing the whole thing, like, I mean, I'm a fucking sucker for that kind of shit. Like endurance, because it's all mental. It really is all fucking mental.
Everything's mental.
Everything.
We had a couple Navy SEAL circumstances happen in our time at Fresno State.
Okay.
One of them, I don't know why my head just went to this just now. We did shit like that, but they came to us, woke us up we had to be at the facility at like 4:30.
Yeah.
This is a new coaching staff too. This is a winter ball of a new coaching staff. I think they're trying to see, what do I got here?
Yeah.
You know, who's gonna lead in this situation? Who's gonna bitch out? Who's a liability? It's not that cold in Fresno compared to Philly in January, but it was pretty fucking cold. They gave us a hoodie and sweatpants, like no logos on it. Yeah. I'm just like, bro, okay.
Yeah.
What am I gonna do with this shit? Whatever. Not bitching. We walked to our pool, like our aquatics center, right? And these Navy SEALs dudes are waiting for us.
Yeah.
They had to have picked the teams on purpose. Long story short, it was a series of exercises. They created like sugar cookies and all that.
Yeah.
But the biggest one is we had to tread water as a team.
Yeah.
For 10 minutes. And then you did a different exercise, and then it was another 10 minutes. Now, we have some guys who can't swim.
Yeah.
And they're raising their hand going, you can't swim. It was a competition. It was like Team A and Team B, all these obstacles, blah, blah, blah. And I'll never forget this shit. We had this big-ass motherfucker. I'm not going to put him on blast right now. Couldn't swim. And there's one thing if you can't swim. He can't swim, and he's letting you know he can't swim.
Yeah, panicking.
Shit.
Fucking, yeah.
I'm 5'8", 162.
Yeah.
Cut, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I slapped the fuck out of him. I said, hey, you need to lock it in right now, Billy. And I said, this is what we're going to fucking do. I damn near drowned myself.
Yeah?
I stood at the bottom of the pool.
You lifted him up?
Fucking
held
his legs up.
Attaboy.
Went up, down, went up, down, went down. I thought I was going to fucking die.
Yeah.
This guy was 350. I was supposed to have another guy. And we went in the pool with the hoodie and the fucking shit on.
Yeah. We did the same shit at Brown. It's funny.
It's probably the same company.
Yeah.
The next element of it is we just had our number on the sweatshirts.
Okay.
You had to switch numbers. You had to switch sweatshirts with somebody while treading water.
Yeah.
And they called out who switched was with who. And they're kind of keeping notes of like who's the two
Yeah.
fucking fat asses that can't swim, and they're making them. They want the weakest links to come together, and the strongest links to raise up the weakest links.
Yep.
Literally, it felt like.
Yeah.
Bro, I thought an ambulance is gonna have to come. I'm going. These guys are going. We're trying to take sweatshirts off.
Yeah.
But you couldn't let the sweatshirt not be touched by a person or something.
Okay.
Long story short, I don't know why my head went to that because I was thinking about my most fucked up thing, and I saw my buddy. He played in the league for a little bit. He was here, and anyways, I'll die before I fucking do shit like this.
Yeah.
I've almost blacked out. I've blacked out many times where you puke and you're spinning and you can't see.
Yeah.
Like a big squat, a big heavy deadlift.
Oh yeah.
Competing on the Versa climber.
Yeah.
Like I'll die. And you know, when I was done playing ball and I attempted to do this Team USA bobsled shit, I really had to flip a switch because it's not football anymore. I'm learning a whole new sport, and there's no like Pop Warner, there's no Pee Wee, there's no JV, there's no varsity. Like, nope, you're training at a Olympic level in a Team USA facility.
In a fucking
right
super
now.
dangerous sport too.
People die all the fucking
all
time.
the time.
You're going 80 downhill,
I know.
fucked up.
Yeah.
And honestly, you were talking about callousing your body. Like my shoulders, I still have like permanent scars on both my shoulders just because you can run into these walls 80 miles an hour. It's ice and cement. Like that's it. You're getting fucked. Hardest hits I've ever taken in my life have been in this. Broken ribs, knocked out unconscious, all that shit. And I just went back though. I always would go back to fucking like that swimming day and being a farm kid. My dad, the only reason I'm good at sports is because my dad fucking made us work on the farm. Being in 4th grade out there, no one speaks English, man.
Yeah.
You're moving pipes in the field. You don't got a phone. You get dropped off with a sack lunch and a little old school Gatorade container that you bring to football practice.
Hell yeah.
I'll see you at lunch. fucking 11, man. It's 105 out. No one speaks English. Water's running. Like, we're racing. And
that's real.
It builds that endurance. I'll never forget, man, like, there's a day where you're crying. I'm like, thinking in my head, like, there's no way this is legal.
Yeah.
All this shit. And then you do it. And you're like, oh, I could do that shit again. And I think we keep testing our mind and our body. Because your body could do things you never thought. I never thought I could play fucking college football. It's like, well, if you do this, that, and the other, it's like, maybe I could fucking figure this out, man. Like, do what you work with what you got. Make the best of it. Yeah. Anyways, didn't mean to go off on a tangent there.
Dude, I love it. You know what you kind of reminded me of? I went through this whole phase. I still kind of believe this, that physical, like, strength, you know, like how much can you squat, is not so much like about your body mechanics and like the true makeups of your muscle, as it is like how mentally ready are you to like suffer for that period of time in which you need to perform this feat. Like, I mean, because I think about it all the time. Like, how can someone do, squat 670 one day, and then the next day they hit like 685? Like, their body didn't change.
No.
But like for some reason they were in the right mental state to like get down and get up and just move on with their life.
Well, I've also had situations where, and I'll be the first to admit, you got your PR. Yeah. And you're going to beat that PR, and like I had a plateau. I was weighing like 157, 158 my sophomore year at Fresno State, and I couldn't bench, like I couldn't rep 275. Like, I'd get it down, I'd get it right here, and I couldn't lock it out. Yeah. Like it became a thing where, because I came in and I got strong as fuck in college football, gets you right. Absolutely. And I was like, I can't get over this fucking hump. And I told my dad played running back at Fresno State. Like, I can't get over this fucking hump. I plateaued, I felt like. And I'm like, okay, for being how much I weigh, like pound for pound, I have a real, that's a respectable bench press. Yeah. I'm benching more than some of our tight ends and shit. And eventually I told my guys on my rack, I said, listen to me. It was a heavy day. I said, I'm not going to look at the weight today. Yeah. Hey. I don't want to see what the fuck it is. Here we go. Sometimes you just get under the bar and be like, I got to get this bitch up. Yeah. You will, but me sliding on the 2 plates
Yeah, you start
and the
thinking
25,
about it,
you're
man.
like, fuck, bro. Like,
Yeah.
like that's kind of a big wheel there, man.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I could fucking slam this shit. Squat, I used to do the same thing. It was
Yeah.
like, I got to hit that 405 just because I just wanted the 4 plates.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like, I remember my junior, it was like 395, and I'm like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
Let me get that 400 club. Like, I just want to.
Yeah.
So it is psychological.
It is.
But I had a strength and conditioning coach. His name was Joey Bose. He's now the head strength and conditioning coach of the Cincinnati Bengals.
Okay.
Dog.
Yeah.
My freshman year, if you didn't hit your reps, he'd look at you like you're kind of a bitch. Sometimes if he might throw it out to you. And like,
Yeah.
I've never been like, it's always like, okay, we're just gonna work on the mechanics.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes all you need is something as simple as like, man, get your fucking weight up, little ass boy. Like, quit being a fucking pussy, bro.
Yeah.
But speaking of like the 225 thing, we used to do this thing. It was called 20-15-10. You put 135 on the bar.
Yep.
135 on the bar. You do 20 reps of squat. Great depth.
Yeah.
You'd get like 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
15 reps.
Okay.
Then you go to do 10, and it wasn't 10. It was till failure.
Oh yeah.
And like, there's guys who will hit 117. But and listen, I don't give a fuck how strong you are.
Yeah.
You do enough squats
Yeah.
with
Lactic
135,
acid, dude. It'll just. Yeah.
You're gonna. It used to be called. We come in there. It was, boys, squat till we drop, and it's like, fuck. I mean, and talk about you. If you don't take an ice bath, you are fucked.
Yeah.
Like, regardless, you're fucked. Can't wipe your ass. Can't
Yeah.
sit on the toilet. Can't do anything like that. But
I
he
love
had a good mindset that he taught us on that 225 thing. Because I was like a 10 rep guy, and again, I was like, fuck. I'd get to 7, 8. And he said, do this. Go to count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now give me 2. 1, 2. I'm at 7.
Yeah.
Give me a single. Because if you tell me, bro, just get it up one more time, like,
Yeah.
you could do it. And
Yeah.
I think about that shit all the time.
Hell yeah.
Fuck, man, that's pretty fucking sick.
That's a nice way
The way we think about things, it at school, okay,
Yeah.
all I need is 21 minutes till it's lunch.
Yeah.
After lunch, it's gonna take a couple minutes to get readjusted. So
Yeah.
like, that's 15. Like,
Yeah.
I'm really only here for another hour all day, right?
Yeah.
But having the ability in your mind to turn that switch on,
Yeah.
and I don't know if I got some wires crossed or anything, but it is a fucking thing where
Absolutely.
how you approach something
Yeah.
can determine your success.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
So
Did you know Moses Cabrera when you were there? He's a Fresno State guy. He was our head strength coach in New England like my last 5 years. He was an assistant before when I first got there.
okay,
And he was always my guy, dude.
Yeah.
And tough as nails, like exactly the mentality you just spoke of, like if you didn't do what you came in to do in the NFL, dude, you get a lot of guys in the strength realm that like, they're doing their own little thing, and and Moses was always like you got to fucking get in here and squat.
yeah,
You got to get in here and like sweat.
Yeah.
Let's work in here. That's why
Yeah.
we're here, right? And some guys didn't do that, but he used to call people out, very personable, but he'd call people out and be like, no, you're not fucking doing the right thing.
Sometimes you need a little chin check.
You do. There's nothing like a good strength coach, I'm telling you. Nothing, like if you get a good one, it'll fucking change your life.
I was blessed. I had some great strength coaches.
Yeah.
Honestly, the one who's currently at Fresno State, he had both my brothers,
Yeah.
like, invited him to my wedding. Like, I golf with him, get beers with him. He lives right by me. Like, if I have any advice, like, I've been asked this on podcasts when I'm getting interviewed, and they said, what's something in college football that as a recruit you would recommend to high school athletes? And I said, when you're going on these visits, fuck the jerseys and all that shit.
Yeah.
Go into the weight room
Yeah.
and meet the strength coach and get a vibe.
Yeah.
Because you don't know it, but you're with the strength coach and the strength staff more than
anything.
anybody.
Yes, sir.
They see you in the January fucking mat drills.
Yep.
They see you in spring ball. They're warming you up every day. Pre-game, they're getting you right. Like, me being the first one out of all of my brothers, like, no idea.
Yeah.
No fucking idea. Our high school, like,
Yeah.
math teacher turn the lights on in the weight room and there was just weights in there. Low caliber. We're not St. John Bosco or that shit. And no, man, a great strength coach could go from a mental perspective, especially. And there's nothing better when you get that first big push, like, yo, my bench went up 20 pounds, and I got like muscle, and you got a little definition. It's like, let's fucking ride.
That's
bro.
right.
What was your when it became time to go to the league? What was your process like? Were you expecting a certain round? Were you expecting a certain team? How'd that go?
Dude, so again, the process of getting in the NFL was hugely humbling for me. Coming out of Brown, there was 4 of us that we had a really good team my senior year or junior year, and then my senior year we did all right, but had a couple prospects. One guy got drafted, was not me. One guy got signed to the Titans, was not me. One guy got a rookie minicamp tryout with the Pats, wasn't me. I ended up waiting till the Monday after the draft, got a call from Cleveland to come out as a 3-4 outside linebacker. I played DN in college.
Okay.
And did that. Didn't even make it to Sunday. They let me go on Saturday. They're like, we've seen enough, dude. Like, go get the fuck out of here. I mean, I was a fish out of water. I played with my hand in the dirt my entire college career, and now I'm standing up on 2 feet, deathly afraid of getting beaten pass coverage because I knew I was slow. So every time the ball was snapped, I'd take like 2 steps back, and they'd be running stretch right at me, and I'm giving up the edge. It was a mess, dude. But anyways, so I go back home. I barely got an agent. You know, I had to like essentially like talk him into representing me. He was a local guy that, you know, knew a family I knew growing up. And you know, so I'm all 3 of my buddies that I played in college with, they're all in teams, in camps. I'm fucking at home. I'm doing nothing.
It's tough on your mentals, man.
Yeah. I'm living at my parents' house. I had just graduated from Brown, and I get a Facebook message from a guy that was a GM of the Oklahoma City Yard Dogs of the AFL. And he says, hey, I'd like you to come down and try out. So I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Like, I'm not doing anything else. So I borrow money from my parents, get a flight to Oklahoma City, do a workout in an indoor soccer little facility down there, and they signed me. And I spend 5 weeks making $200 a week in Taco Bell meal tickets, living in an apartment that they provided with boarded up windows because it just hailed in Oklahoma like crazy. And I'm like, yo, is this really what I'm doing with an Ivy League degree? That season ends, and then I'm back at home doing the same shit, training, like trying to stay ready, but no fucking prospects at all. This is like July, and
so this is a whole year?
Well, no.
Oh, no. This is preseason. So
So this is 2010. I graduated in May, did my thing in Oklahoma City for like maybe the month of June.
Got it.
I'm in July, I'm at the Jersey Shore, and I get a text from my agent like, hey, I got your workout. It's with the Florida Tuskers of the UFL, which was not the UFL that exists now, but once removed. And he's like, hey, it's as a fullback. Like, just go down there, do the workout, and, like, you know, we'll see how it goes. And so I go down there. Jay Gruden's the head coach. Got a bunch of NFL guys on the roster. They try me out as a fullback. I do the drills, and they sign me. And then 4 weeks later, the starting fullback gets vertigo going out to Vegas for our game, and I'm the fucking starting fullback. And then finished that year. It was a 9-week season. We lost in the championship game to Jeff Garcia, I think. And
wow.
Yeah. He was playing quarterback for the Omaha Nighthawks, I believe. They had a running back. He was a great great running back at Ohio State. Got into some trouble in the NFL. Oh my God, his name's Maurice something. But anyways, we had some guys in that league. Like, it was like my starting quarterback. My running backs were Dominique Rhodes from the Colts. He won a Super Bowl. Maurice Hicks played for the Niners. Avion Cason played for the Cowboys. Like, we had some guys, you know. Dante Culpepper was in the league. Jeff Garcia, obviously. So it was a great experience. That season ends, and I go right from there. It was in December. Right from there to Cincinnati. on their practice squad for a year and a half. And then in 2012, they cut me after camp, and I went to New England, and then 8 years there, rest is history.
Becoming a fullback, though, after not playing that in college, like when it first, I mean, just that's a different side of the ball.
Yeah.
You know, and,
Yeah.
you know, offensive terminology, I think, is a little more difficult than defensive terminology. There's a lot of shit you could fuck up. As a fullback, you know, maybe you could simplify it down.
Absolutely.
You don't got to worry what the guy on the outside is always doing necessarily. But still, what was the initial, like, there got to be some butterflies.
Oh, yeah. Dude, absolutely. And that's what was nice about, like, having that buffer year in the UFL and then ultimately having, like, a couple of years on practice squad is I got a lot of reps just doing it, watching guys, seeing how they do it, trying to be like that. What I quickly found out, though, was I was always very aware of my lack of straight-ahead speed. And when I was on the offense side of the ball as opposed to defense, I knew where I had to be. I knew where I had to go. So I was playing and making the first move as opposed to reacting on defense.
Totally.
So I felt like that ended up playing to my strength for sure, because I could, you know, like I know where this play's supposed to hit. I know what I got to see, you know, in order to, like.
If there's an option, yeah.
So and I guess my football IQ was good enough, like, early on to really, like, figure that shit out and be ahead of the game on each play as opposed to, like, playing defense and just fucking trying to react and then making up for my lack of straight-ahead speed, so.
I mean, the fullback position, I think, needs to be utilized more and more.
It is, man. I think there's a lot of teams, especially in the playoffs, that, you know, when it comes down to it, like, and you can put, like, 500 pounds in the backfield and 2 tight ends on the field. Like, teams don't want to see that in January. You know, like, these guys are beat up.
Yeah.
They don't want to be playing fucking ISO blocks and shit. Like, from a guy that's just like,
fuck you, I'm gonna run through your fucking face, bro. Like, choo-choo train's coming right.
And you see that in, like, Detroit. Obviously, their playoffs didn't go the way they wanted, but, like, teams are still out there, like, slugging it out, man. The Ravens, like, you know,
the
like,
Ravens backfield.
Yeah. I know. I mean, it's over 500 pounds back there with them. You know, Ricard's 3-something, 310 maybe, 305. I don't know what he plays at.
I think Derek's like 270, bro.
Huge.
I think he's like 270.
He's
the
huge.
fact he skates. Like, when he's running one of his 70-yarders, I'm like, how the fuck is this dude that big and that fast?
Yeah.
I saw him yesterday. I should have taken a picture with him, bro.
Yeah.
He was one of the dudes. He's my wife's. My wife had him in fantasy football one year, and she's like, I fucking love Derek Henry. I'm like, yeah, great pick, babe. Like, you know?
Yeah.
How did you decide what your swagger was going to be as a fullback?
I'd say.
Because you embraced that shit.
I did.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
And I you know what I really loved? Coming up, I was a big fan of Carney from the Saints and the Rams.
Okay.
And I remember watching a little thing, whether it was like I don't know if it was 30 for 30 back then, but it was a little thing on ESPN that had it. It was like a documentary style show about Steven Jackson and Carney and their relationship and how they were like best buds. It was like a brotherhood almost, right? And so when I got to the league and I was like, and I got a stable of backs that I'm gonna block for. Like, I want to be their brother. I want them to be like someone that I want me to be someone to them. Like, they can come to for anything, and you know, I'm like, they're like low key bodyguard at times.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
So I tried to take on like that identity, like just be there, be like the face of our running game a little bit. And because I was always like, you know, coming into the league, I never had much of an ego in the locker room. Like, I was fucking happy to be there because my journey there, like, shouldn't have happened.
Right.
But, so I was like a quieter type. I wasn't like much of a rah-rah guy, but when I like stuck somebody, and you get that like electricity in your fucking veins, and you can just feel like it is the greatest feeling.
That's the juice.
Yes, that is the fucking juice.
That's literally what I'm talking about when I say that's the juice.
And you come off the sideline, and I can't even like contain how excited I am, and I'm like telling everybody I love them, and I'm fucking like, I mean, I get
fire me the fuck up, boys.
yeah.
Oh.
You know, they got me on Christmas Eve. We played the Jets one year, beat the doors off them 44-3 on Christmas Eve. Like, Merry Christmas. Yeah. But we ran a bunch of goal line runs, and I blocked for LeGarrette Blount, and they caught me on his mic, you know, telling him how much I love him. I blocked for my whole life, I said, and I'm just like so giddy, you know, with excitement because I'm like sticking guys in the hole, and we're fucking scoring right on top. And so that was my identity, man. I really embraced like the lack of glory in that role. Like I wanted to be a fucking battering ram for these guys so they can fucking score and have fun and get fucking collect checks. Like I was just happy to be there, man. Like I just want to play football and hit somebody and fucking bleed a little bit. And yeah, man, that's what football's about.
Well, it's so hard because like once it's over, like you can't mimic
No, you can't.
that shit. It's the closest thing to war there possibly is.
Yeah.
And when you got a band of brothers that really come together and do something special, it's so fucking. It's hard to win football games, and when you do, it's like, let's fucking go. Let your nuts hang, impose your will, run through a motherfucker's face.
Yes, sir.
It's just like, it's elite.
Yeah.
I gotta ask, the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
We're here this week. It's Radio Row, obviously. I don't think people understand how big the Super Bowl is. Like, it's an event. It's the biggest sporting event easily in the United States every year. The joy of winning a ring.
Yeah.
How was it?
Oh man, I'll never forget the first one. People ask me a lot, like, what was your favorite Super Bowl? And I'll never get over the first feeling of walking onto like a Super Bowl field, the electricity you feel, the fucking amount of pride you have running out, listening to the national anthem. Like, it's what every little football player fucking, when they start playing at 6, 7 years old,
that's what they want.
Everything to them.
I know.
It's everything, even all the way up to high school, college. Like, it's a fucking American, like.
It is one of the most American things you could accomplish.
Yeah. And to like realize that in warm-ups, like I could fucking cry right now thinking about it.
Yeah.
Realizing like how much work you had to go through, the ups and downs and ebbs and flows of the season, but not only that season, the season before, and your whole fucking life.
Yeah,
And then it ultimately gets you, you know, on this field that's all painted up with the fucking Super Bowl logos and shit. Dude, it is like electric.
Yeah.
Electric.
Fuck yeah.
And then ultimately that's like just pregame. And then the game goes on, and it's a crazy long game with all the TV stops and the Super Bowl, or the halftime show. Super Bowl halftime show is like twice as long, 3 times as long as a normal halftime. So you end up like playing damn near 2 games, you know. And the way that we won each of our Super Bowls, the third one was like a little bit of a, you know, we had a little bit of room
what was the third
at the
one?
end against the Rams.
Okay.
And we won 13-3, which was a boring game, but I loved it. We were running the ball real well.
You were there for the Falcons one, right?
Yeah. And that's wild. I mean, just for everything to go the way it went in our favor.
Someone had to flip a switch.
Yeah.
Tell me when it was, you guys are down 28-3.
Yeah.
I saw Bourbon Street, there was a flag with it last night.
Of course.
I was like, that's so random, but all right. Who flipped the switch and said, fuck this shit, it's not over, like, we need to go win this thing?
I mean, you got to point the finger there at Tom.
Yeah.
I mean, and he just cool as the other side of the pillow, always. Very fucking confident. Like, I remember Jules walking around saying, like, hey, we're going to win this game. Like, we're going to win this game. And you're like, dude. Because it wasn't even like a halftime thing. We were down 21-3 at halftime.
Yeah.
Then we come out and they score, and we're down 28-3 in the third quarter with like 7 minutes left. And it's like, yeah, how can this happen?
Right.
It's like, no way. But then, you know, we're just like, people start believing, and more and more plays are being made, and it wasn't like a flip a switch and now all of a sudden the Patriots are fucking here.
No.
It was like a slow process. You know, we get the sack fumble. We got a sack that knocked them out of field goal range.
Momentum swinging.
Everything
That's
started going
football.
our way. And honestly, I got so much joy out of watching the mood of the Falcons change because they were fucking hyped over there in the third quarter. Like, you couldn't, you know, their fucking shit didn't stink at that point. You know, Arthur Blank's down there, you know, we're like, all right. But then, like, as shit started rolling the opposite way for them, it was so much fun to watch them, like, start to shrink over there. And honestly, yeah, so, like, who flipped the switch? Nobody really. Like, we just started doing everything in the right time and things went our way. But Tom was a big part of that because I don't think we'd have the belief that it could fucking happen if not for TB, you know? Like, and I said that to Bill when I went back after I retired, and we were kind of like in that quarterback limbo in New England a little bit, and I was like, you just need somebody that guys can believe in because that's so big going into a game. Having a guy that you're like, yes, this guy's going to fucking put us in position to win, and having that belief is like damn near as important as fucking any preparation because you need guys that can, you know, a guy that can galvanize everybody to fucking go out there and try to win games on Sunday because it's hard, like you said.
It's hard to win football games.
Fucking hard to win football games, but when you got a bunch of guys that believe, anything can happen, man.
Anything can happen, bro. Dude, James, I appreciate you, man. We could go on and on and on.
Yeah,
I definitely would love to get you out to Fresno.
I don't want to hold up, you know, take
No,
up
bro,
all your
you're
time,
chilling.
but
You're
this-
chilling.
It got deep real quick, and I'm
Dude.
like, you know what? I'm fucking glad I
like,
said
guy
that.
just said he's like, you could go for an hour right now. I'm like,
Yeah.
really, bro?
Yeah.
But no, I appreciate you. I appreciate the time. Wishing you the best of blessings and good health and success in all your endeavors, man. And
Hey.
I'd love to run this back. Like, dude, hearing guys from that era, like, to me, like my again, it's me and my three brothers.
Yeah.
All played wide receiver. My middle brother is declaring this year he's going to run a fast motherfucking 40.
Yeah.
And the Patriots actually really like him right now.
Okay.
So we'll see what the fuck happens.
There we go.
But, like, I'm just going to say it. Like, bro, white boy wide receivers is the rarest breed.
Yeah.
And we were always the lone wolf.
Uh-huh.
And just seeing, like, Wes do his thing.
Yeah.
See, Jules, I mean, Jules was our guy. Like, Jules
Yeah.
was my family's guy. Like, even Amendola. And, like,
Yeah.
I just,
The
I don't
coolest
know,
of them
man.
all, man.
Like, it gave us hope, man,
Yeah.
because it's a needle in a haystack.
Yeah.
And, you know, I grew up constantly getting told, like, well,
Yeah.
you're a little Julian Edelman. It's, okay, just because I'm a shifty white wide receiver. Like, okay, that's you're right. Like,
Yeah.
But just hearing about those times, it's not the fact that they're just white guys that are wide receiver.
Yeah.
I know their journey. I know that Jules played quarterback at Kent fucking State.
Yeah.
And, like, it wasn't first round draft pick, starting wide receiver. Like,
Yeah.
he had to go return punts and all
Yep.
that. Like, nothing has ever come easy to me in
Yeah.
my life. Like,
Yeah.
I had to walk on at Fresno State in order to earn that scholarship. I had to do all this shit to get anything. I started off bringing the juice in my mom and dad's basement. We had 5 listeners. We didn't have video. We only had audio. I'd pause it. I'd call my mom. She'd be upstairs. She'd come downstairs with her fucking iPhone, red glass of wine,
Yeah.
take pictures on her iPhone 4, and that's what I'm posting on Instagram. My
Yeah.
mom's blurry. I was interviewing a guy once who won the World Series for the Braves like 2 months ago, and one of my boys goes, "Yo, bro, like, you just had this dude tell this story about
Yeah.
it was his first appearance in Major League Baseball. He started Game 2 of the fucking World Series.
Yeah.
First Major League action. He just got called up. Like, this story is
Yeah.
insane. And I love when I get to do shit like this, and I'm not, whoa, I got no, this fucking note says,
I know.
Javon Holiday. Like, literally, like, I like to have conversations.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to, so how did, okay, I got to ask how the Super Bowl was. 'Cause
Yeah.
fuck, I'm not a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
But, like, dude, like, I just know that shit was never easy.
Yeah.
And seeing guys like Jules, Hogan, like I know they all had their path, and I was like, I have a path.
Yeah.
I have a path. Like,
Yeah.
you're right. I am a shifty white boy wide receiver who looks like Julian Edelman, but in my brain, I'm like, no, bro. he had a fucking journey. He had to
Yeah.
go through shit. So I've always related to it. And like, you know, my brothers, they're my best friends. Like
Yeah.
we train together, we work together, we do everything together. Same offensive playbook. So when they came in right behind me, I never got to play with them. They got to play together.
Yeah.
When they came in right behind me, it was just like, I'm in the stands looking at signals. I'm like, all right, Mac has a fucking deep post right
Yeah.
now. I'm like, Mom, every 75-yard touchdown's coming if this safety fucking goes
Yeah.
this way. And I'll see the safety step, and I'll look at my peripheral, Mac getting off the line. I'm like, touchdown. People in the stands like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
What are you, a hardcore sports
Yeah.
player? I'm like, well, you know, I'll dabble.
Yeah.
Long story short, man.
Dude, that's
Again,
great.
James, I appreciate your time. I'd love to get you out to Fresno one of these days, man.
Okay.
I'll
Get on the onion farm.
show you the onion farm. Got some good steakhouses out here.
Yeah.
Show you how the Valley Boys train and all that shit, man.
Hell yeah,
But
man.
Godspeed,
Hey, it was
brother.
a pleasure, brother.
Absolutely.
Thanks for having me on. And I just want to say before I go, man, your whole journey and what you just spoke on is what makes this so great. Like I saw my first experience, like seeing your pod and seeing this whole brand was, I just was scrolling on Instagram and I saw fucking Logan Mankins jersey, right?
Sir, baby.
And it stopped me, and I'm like, yo, if he's got Logan Mankins behind him on the wall, like, this guy knows what's up. So, and then I, like, you know, read into it and, like, kind of got a little bit deeper in the weeds with you, and I'm like, you know what, this guy's what football is all about. Like, what I was talking about, like, that electricity in your veins, that juice. Dude, if we get, like, that's what's fucking so good about that feeling is why all this shit is here.
Yeah.
It's what makes football the greatest sport on earth, and it's why every fucking person's in this building.
Yeah.
And for you to be sitting here fucking building something so cool, so authentically football, so authentically you, so authentically like the underdog mentality, dude.
Chop wood, carry water, baby.
Yeah, I couldn't be a bigger supporter, man. So thanks for having me on today. I appreciate that.
I appreciate you, man.
Hell yeah.
Dude.